fishing feed my family and build my house.
Never know me that one boat, much less two.
Enough youth are for sake of fish, so we have to take the climate change thing to heart and defend this.
We depend on the parrot, snapper and the jack. We depend on the goldfish, tilapia and sprat. We depend on fish, and we get smart gun to protect the reef. So me have to say, have to defend this. If we protect the reef or keep the fish alive. The catch and sell the baby fish before them reach them time. Now, utilize the fish them we're in a the
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Could you please rise for the playing of our national anthem? Thank you. Be seated. Well, first of all, let me start by saying good morning and welcome, and thank you all for braving the weather and being here for the inaugural regional meeting of the Blue Justice Caribbean Hub. and our regional launch. This launch came about after a lot of work since October 2021, when Jamaica first signed on to the Copenhagen Declaration. And we have made a lot of steps together, but the most important thing is that we as CARICOM, through the Ministerial Declaration from the CRFM, have realized that as small island developing states, we need to work together. Unity is strength. And as one of our main sponsors is the UNDP, we have our SDG goals, which the hub embraces at least 3 main goals. The goal of life below water, the goal of good governance, and the goal of cooperation and technology. So, without any further ado, let me do the official welcome. First of all, I'd like to welcome our Minister, the Honorable Floyd Green, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining. I'm going to welcome him because due to the weather, he will be here in a second. Senator the Honorable Matthew Samuda, Minister with our portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Minister Sabota Caesar from St. Vincent and Grenadines. He's the Minister of Fisheries and many other titles, Forestry, Agriculture, Labor, what else, Minister? Rural Transformation, etc., etc. Her Excellency Bertha Stiro, the ambassador from Norway to the Caribbean, the Deputy Director General of Norwegian Ministry of Trade, Olaf Norheim, Ava White, UNDP Multi-Country Office Assistant Resident Representative for the region, Ava Nunes, Regional Technical Specialist from UNDP, and before I forget, our regional representatives from Montserrat, Belize, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Kitts and Nevis, and our friends from afar, from Cape Verde. I spoke, the Chief of Defense Staff, Rear Admiral Antoinette Weems-Gorman, Chief Technical Directors, Parkins and Cole, Chairman, Commander Overton, and board members of the National Fisheries Board, head of agencies, representatives of government ministries, departments, and agencies. Special welcome to our multi-agency mechanism partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, those present here and those online, and the press. Today will be a short launch of the regional hub, but most importantly, the second part will be a technical workshop with our regional partners. And, I left out the representatives from the DPP's office who will be participating in that training. So, next, I would like for us to have a look on our monitors. There will be a video, a global video about the Blue Justice Initiative. Thank you. Next up, and before we go to our next presenter, who will be giving us greetings on behalf of the multi-country office of the UNDP here in Jamaica, Ava White, we always leave our friends out. So our co-sponsors, the CRFM and the Executive Director, Milton Horton, and our representative from IMPACTS, that's the implementing agency for crime and security, Veron Lachlan. Forgive me, please. So please make Ava White welcome. Thank you.
With all the protocols established, I think it suffices for me to say a warm welcome and good morning to all of our partners gathered here, as well as those online. Special thank you to those who took the journey from the respective Caribbean territories to join us in person. Also, of course, our honorable ministers. I see Minister Samuda has entered the room. We welcome him to the table. Welcome, Minister. We have of course, Minister Floyd Green and our minister from St. Vincent, I believe. Yes. Dr. Bellamy and his team from the National Fisheries Authority, who have been working assiduously to make the Caribbean hub a reality. Good morning, everyone. 8 months after we gathered at UN City in Copenhagen to launch the Caribbean Blue Justice Hub on the international stage, we have rightfully gathered to launch the Caribbean Hub here in Jamaica on Caribbean soil. This is a signal of our intention to advance the mission to address illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing and transnational organized crime across the Caribbean Sea. Regional commitment to the Copenhagen Declaration, ratified by many states of the Caribbean, has never been stronger. By bolstering capacities to track, identify, apprehend, and interdict those who perpetrate these crimes across the region is reinforced by our strategies and interests to harness the blue economy for sustainable economic growth and livelihoods. The blue economy contributes to 3 to 6 trillion USD, that's United States dollars, to the world's economy as a storehouse for food, medicine, minerals, jobs, products, livelihoods, and of course, our getaways for vacation. In the blue economy, it is a facilitator, actually, of 90% of the world's trade. By developing and maximizing the Caribbean region's blue economy, we can help to drive economic growth and diversification, enhancing the quality of people's lives and thereby reducing poverty. But we must tackle the significant barriers posed by fisheries crime to maximize the potential of the blue economy. Fisheries crimes are not only limited to illegal fishing and its value chain, but are extended to human trafficking, fraud, corruption, tax crimes, and others. The United Nations Office on Drug and Crime estimates the value of fish loss to criminal activities anywhere between 10 to 23 billion United States dollars annually. And a 2022 report on Latin America and the Caribbean indicates that some 8 to 15% of the annual catch is lost to these types of fisheries crimes annually. Through coordination and dedicated effort, the Caribbean can tackle this challenge together, bolstered, of course, by training and technology. The centerpiece of this regional cooperation is the Blue Justice Community. It's a secure online portal that facilitates communication, knowledge exchange, and technical support from the International Blue Justice Tracking Center in Norway. This is a stellar example of how UNDP intends to leverage digital transformation to underpin transformative actions that improve the quality of people's lives and livelihoods. UNDP's multi-country office in Jamaica is happy and pleased to stand with the region in accelerating the actions within the Blue Justice Caribbean Hub as we advance interagency and intra-regional coordination on fisheries crimes under Jamaica's leadership. I wish to express sincere appreciation again to the Government of Norway and the UNDP Nordic Representation Office for their support with the Blue Justice Initiative. The multi-country office in Jamaica also extends commendation to the Government of Jamaica and the governments of the region, but specifically to the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining in Jamaica, which through its National Fisheries Authority serving as a most capable and efficient leader of the Blue Justice Caribbean Hub. We call on the governments of the region to maximize the potential of the hub by participating fully in its initiatives. You can count on UNDP to support you to facilitate your ambitions for this transformative innovation. We learned at the conference in Copenhagen that this is the first of all the hubs that are intended to be established across the world. So again, the Caribbean is leading. A round of applause, of course, to Gavin and his team. UNDP, in collaboration with our partners, are committed to providing the requisite resources at the national and regional levels to ensure the hub meets its full potential. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. And definitely, I hope we are all listening. We need to maximize the use of this facility. As small island developing states, we must look on it probably a different way. We are large ocean states. We have more oceans than we have land. We need to maximize what we get from our oceans and stop allowing others to share in our wealth without permission. Next, I'd like to welcome, sorry to lay hands on you so suddenly, the Senator, Minister without Portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator the Honorable Matthew Samuda.
Morning, everyone. Apologies for joining you after the start time. Today is unfortunately one of those days that's packed a bit like a sardine can. Dr. Bellamy, CEO of the National Fisheries Authority, indeed the National Fisheries Authority represented here today, the Ava White Anderson, MCO Assistant Resident Representative of the UNDP, my colleague and friend Floyd Green, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Milton Horton, Executive Director, Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, and His Excellency Saboto Cesar, Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I wish to begin by commending the Blue Justice Caribbean Hub conceptualizers. This project provides a regional hub that is guaranteed to strengthen cooperation and coordination in the use of innovation and digital technology to fight fisheries crimes. I want to acknowledge the Government of Norway, the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, the UNDP, and the Blue Justice Initiative Secretariat for this project. Jamaica, often considered and listed as a small island developing state, as Dr. Bellamy said, needs to shift its mindset to think of itself as a large and powerful ocean state. I believe initiatives such as this, backed with the appropriate investments into the capacity of the National Fisheries Authority, into the JDF through its maritime operations, and of course into the JCF through its maritime operations, strengthen the potential, the trajectory for Jamaica to truly establish itself, not just as a country with an EEZ 24 times its size, but as that powerful ocean state. The ocean is an integral part of Jamaica's cultural identity. It is critical to economic growth and development and the well-being of its people. Indeed, the country's key economic drivers are dependent on a healthy ocean. These include tourism, fisheries, shipping, and logistics services. This has been so through two colonial powers and certainly post-independence. This awesome EEZ that we enjoy, I would posit, potentially represents greater economic value than the activity we have on land. But Jamaica is an interesting country, and the geography that we enjoy has also led to particular development, or particular development approach. 70% of Jamaica's population lives within 5 kilometers of the sea, usually in low-lying areas. It means that the health of the ocean and the environmental health that both affect the ocean and that the ocean can contribute positively to has to be at the core of our considerations. Jamaica, the Jamaican government, and indeed the entire Jamaican population should be very concerned about the issue of climate change. Climate change is not a future concept, a future risk. It is a fact. It is rather something that we're dealing with as a clear and present danger. Sea level rise threatens the landmass that we have. And with 70% of your population living so closely, that severely impacts the potential development trajectory of Jamaica. Jamaica has long said that ocean health will lead to ocean wealth. It is why Jamaica is a member of the high-level panel for a sustainable ocean economy. But it's initiatives like that, like this that is before us today, that will make a sustainable ocean economy possible. It is why, despite having an awful schedule, I'm happy to represent and to acknowledge all the hard work done by several men and women who are present here today and some who are not, to ensure that this initiative becomes a reality. I wish to also add my voice, Minister, in support and calling for persons to use this platform to ensure that the JDF, the JCF, can properly use the limited resources they have to provide the security that we need for this EEZ. We will continue to work with the National Fisheries Authority to ensure that we meet our protection targets. Jamaica has committed and is a member of the High Ambition Coalition, so even before the Global Biodiversity Framework was signed last year, Jamaica had committed that it would protect 30% of its landmass, 30% of its EEZ by 2030. Now, Dr. Bellamy, we have some work to do because we're over 25% in our landmass, and we will get to 40% by 2030 because Jamaicans have to overdo everything. So we're going to ensure that we beat the international targets set. But we are lagging with some of our protected areas that we need to look at in our EEZ. We're at about 15%. No, I know what that symbol means. And ultimately, it will require resources. But it requires the commitment of everyone in this room to help us to carry the message so that the public understands that this awesome ocean that surrounds us provides an amazing opportunity through the right mix of protection, the right policies, the right oversight, and the right enforcement to yield significant economic gain. This morning is a step in the right direction. I thank you for the opportunity to join you. We do have some more protection to discuss. Some I know that may be difficult for us to discuss, but I look forward to those discussions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister, and thank you for your commitment to support us. Next, we'll be having a presentation online from the UNDP's Regional Technical Specialist for Water, Oceans, Ecosystem and Biodiversity, Ava Maria Nunes. Thank you.
Jamaica. Mr. Without. Oh.
Okay, it seems that we're having some technical problems, but I know our friends from JS will be able to sort this out quickly. Okay, until we sort this out, I think we'll move on to the next presenter and come back. 1 second, I'm getting the signal that they are ready now. Hello, good morning, sorry about this. Go ahead, please, Ava Maria, please go ahead now. No. It is not happening. Let us move to our next presenter and try and resolve this and come right back to Anna Maria Nunes in a bit. So next on our agenda will be the Executive Director from the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, Milton Horton. Please make him welcome.
Mr. Chairman, Dr. Gavin Bellamy, CEO of the National Fisheries Authority, Honorable Floyd Green, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Jamaica, Honorable Matthew Samoda, he's on his way out, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Jamaica, Honorable Sabota Cesar, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries, Forestry, Rural Transformation, Industry and Labor of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Her Excellency Betty Stiro, Norwegian Ambassador to the Caribbean countries, Mr. Olav Norheim, Deputy Director General of the Norwegian Ministry of Trade, Industry and Fisheries, Ms. Ava White Anderson, Officer in charge of UNDP Jamaica, Ms. Anna Marie Nunes, UNDP Regional Technical Specialist for Water, Oceans, Ecosystems and Biodiversity, Rear Admiral Antoinette Wemis Gorman, Chief of Defense Staff, Jamaica Defense Force, Dr. Emma Wetboe, Project Leader from UNDP Blue Resilience Project, Representative of the DPP, Mr. Jeremy Taylor, distinguished representatives of CARICOM member states and CRFM member states, representative of Cape Verde, the Maldives, representative of Impacts, CARICOM institution. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good morning and a very warm welcome to you on behalf of the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism. It is truly an honor and a pleasure to stand before you today on this momentous occasion as we gather to celebrate the launch and the inaugural meeting of the Blue Justice Caribbean Hub located here in Jamaica. I want to thank the government of Jamaica for kindly and generously hosting the hub and also for hosting this very important event in the beautiful city of Kingston, Jamaica. I also want to use this opportunity to recognize and thank the government of Norway for their unwavering commitment and support for global efforts to combat fisheries crime and assist developing countries in doing so. Thanks also to UNDP for their support for the Blue Justice Initiative and the Blue Resilience Project and the establishment of this hub. We at the CRFM are very pleased to be associated with the Blue Justice Initiative and the efforts to combat fisheries crime in the region and globally. We became involved in the Blue Justice Initiative in 2020 when we coordinated the participation of CARICOM states in the high-level political Blue Justice Conference that was held in December of 2020. In May of 2021, the Ministerial Council of the CRFM discussed the issue of fisheries crime and IUU fishing and the negative impacts these things were having on our economies, our fisheries, our fishing community. And the Council issued Resolution number MC 15/6 of 2021, which reiterated the region's concern regarding fisheries crime and the negative impacts on our countries. They also welcomed the Copenhagen Declaration on Transnational Organized Crime in the global fishing industry, noting that it is a very important instrument in the fight against fisheries crime and illegal fishing. The Council also highlighted the need for CARICOM CRFM member states to cooperate with each other and with other affected countries to improve understanding and knowledge of the problem, identify countermeasures, and build capacity to prevent, deter, and eradicate transnational organized crime in the fishing industry in the region and globally. In this connection, they agreed on a plan of action to engage with the Blue Justice Initiative and build capacity and strengthen cooperation and networking to boost efforts to combat fisheries crime. At this time, 14 CARICOM CRFM member states are parties to the Copenhagen Declaration. The hub that has been launched officially today will facilitate and promote coordinated, collaborative actions and measures to combat fisheries crime in the region. Fisheries crime is a legal concept that refers to a range of illegal activities in the fisheries sector. And these activities are usually transnational and organized in nature. And they include illegal fishing, document fraud, drug trafficking, small arms trafficking, human trafficking, money laundering, and smuggling of contraband goods, among others, that are things that are done using fisheries as a cover. Criminal activities in the fisheries sector are often regarded as synonymous with poaching or illegal fishing, which unfortunately many states do not view or prosecute as criminal or serious criminal offenses, but rather as a fisheries management issue, thus attracting low penalties and oftentimes administrative sanctions rather than criminal penalties, which are commensurate with the nature and extent and the damage being done by their nefarious, unlawful activities. For these reasons, as well as the high profits, low risk of being arrested and held accountable, and uncoordinated, ineffective domestic and cross-border law enforcement efforts, organized criminal networks and organizations engage in fisheries crime with relative impunity. Today, indeed, marks a significant milestone in our collective commitment to not just protect and safeguard the precious ocean resources that are so vitally important for our food security, livelihoods, and trade, and will be the lifeblood of our economies in the future as we develop our significant blue economic potential. Our oceans and their living and non-living resources have long been a source of sustenance, livelihood, trade, culture, heritage for the people of the Caribbean. However, the increasing threat of IUU fishing and fisheries crime pose a grave danger to the health of our marine ecosystems and their marine living resources, jeopardizing not only the well-being of our fisheries and coastal communities and the sustainability of our fishing industry, but also our security and the future sustainable development of our economies based on our extensive ocean resources. The establishment of this hub underscores the regional determination to address these challenges head-on with a united front and a comprehensive, coordinated approach. By pooling our resources, knowledge, and expertise, we aim to strengthen our capacity to deal with fisheries crime. This hub serves as a testament to the power of collaboration and the recognition that in the face of such complex issues, no nation can stand alone. Through intelligence sharing, technology adoption, improved awareness of activities that are taking place in our maritime domain, and coordinated law enforcement efforts, we will create a formidable force against those who seek to exploit our ocean and their resources unlawfully. As you heard before, this initiative aligns very well with the Sustainable Development Goal, Goal 14 in particular, emphasizing the importance of our oceans and seas and ensuring that we obtain long-term sustainable benefits from these. So as we embark on this journey together, let us not forget the invaluable, crucial, critical role that each one of us play in shaping the success of this hub, as Dr. Bellamy has emphasized. It is through our shared dedication, passion, and determination that we can build a resilient and sustainable future for our people, and in particular our children and our grandchildren. In closing, I'd like to again express my deep gratitude to the government of Jamaica for hosting this important event and for the excellent arrangements they have made. Thank you, and let us forge ahead in our collective pursuit of a thriving, resilient, and well-protected marine environment for our children and our grandchildren. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hart. Now we will go again and try for our UNDP Regional Technical Specialist for Water, Oceans, Ecosystems and Biodiversity, Ana Maria Nunes.
Thank you so much again. Can you please confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, we can. Perfect.
Thank you so much, and I'm so sorry for this. Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining of Jamaica, Honorable Floyd Green. Minister with our portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Honorable Matthew Samuda. Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, His Excellency Sabotu Cesar. Norwegian Ambassador to the Caribbean, Her Excellency Beat Stiru. Deputy Director General of the Norwegian Ministry of Trade, Industry and Fisheries, Olaf Norheim. Executive Director of the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, CRFM, Milton Houghton. CEO of the Jamaica National Fisheries Authority, Dr. Gavin Bellamy. Officer in charge of the Multi-Country Office of Jamaica, Ava White Anderson. Project Manager of the UNDP Blue Resilience Project, Emma Whitlow. Other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, colleagues all, good morning. On behalf of the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, It is a great pleasure to be part of this inaugural meeting of the Blue Justice Caribbean Regional Hub. I am delighted and thankful for the invitation, and I wish I could be there with you in person, but it was not possible. I would like to start by saying that at the center of UNDP's work is sustainable human development. We work in countries to enhance the quality of people's life. A major part of this is enabling people's access to sustainable use of natural resources. And for many countries in the Caribbean, the fisheries sector plays an integral role in livelihood and sustenance for many coastal communities. Please allow me to share too that the Caribbean and small island developing states, SIDS, in general, are a priority for UNDP, and a part of our work is looking at the nexus between governance, resilience, and human development. We are also focused on working with governments in the region to maximize blue economy. The launch of the Blue Justice Caribbean Hub is therefore pivotal to advancing these areas in the region, with focus on enhancing food security, governance, and the marine environment and the rule of law by collectively addressing fisheries crime. You might be aware that in May 2021, at the 15th meeting of the Ministerial Council of the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, CRFM, the Ministerial Council issued an important resolution expressing support for the International Declaration on Organized Crime in the Global Fishing Industry, called Copenhagen Declaration, and the Blue Justice Initiative. As such, the Norwegian government supported Blue Justice Initiative, or called BJCH, aims to strengthen the capacity of government institutions to effectively address organized fisheries crime as part of promoting a sustainable and fair blue economy for all. UNDP's Blue Resilience indeed complements this framework as a global governance project providing capacity and technical support in utilizing digital technology for interagency cooperation in addressing fisheries crime. In 2021, in collaboration with the CRFM, 12 CARICOM member states joined the Copenhagen Declaration and pledged support to the Blue Justice Initiative and UNDP as part of the Rural Resilience Project. And in 2022, many CARICOM member states agreed to move forward with the BJCH's offer of technical support at the meeting co-hosted by CRFM and CARICOM Impacts. This collective, unified, and purposeful effort by Caribbean countries to tackle fisheries crime is essential for success, because this type of crimes go even beyond national borders. Regional cooperation is therefore necessary. Hence, this regional launch of the Blue Justice Caribbean Hub represents a commitment to combating fisheries crime as a unified group through dynamic partnerships, sharing of information, experiences, and best practices, enhancing capacities, and deliberate and effective use of digital technology. In closing, I would like to acknowledge these great efforts with the creation of this regional hub, with a special thanks to the governments of Norway and our colleagues at UNDP Norway for their stalwart support. I also thank all the government officials from the Caribbean countries represented here today, and we are also grateful for the active support of CRFM. Finally, let me say or tell a major thank you to the government of Jamaica and the National Fisheries Authority for leading the establishment of this hub and facilitating this launch today. Please let me reaffirm UNDP's commitment to continue working on an integrated, innovative, and joint efforts to produce development results towards achieving 2030 agenda, better management of the fisheries sector, and the sustainable development of the Caribbean. We are here with you on your development journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next presenter will be a video presentation, but I must at this point before this presenter comes up, with the exception of Emma, Olaf Norheim, the Deputy Director General of the Norwegian Ministry of Trade, Industry and Fisheries, was one of the first persons who heard about the idea for the hub in Portugal. We had a side meeting, we mentioned it, and his smile with Gunnar signaled that they were in agreement and that we would move ahead. And now, after meeting in Portugal, we are here today. So please, let us welcome Olaf Norheim.
Thank you, Dr. Bellamy. Thank you for those kind words. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Fisheries in Norway, I wish to congratulate the Caribbean on this important milestone and event and the launch of the Blue Justice Caribbean Hub. Working together between institutions and regionally is an important way of combating IUU fishing and fisheries crime. We are very happy to hear of all the good progress that is made in the Caribbean with the common goal of achieving sustainable oceans and fulfilling SDG 14, Life Below Water. Through the Blue Justice, we believe the establishment of a common understanding and truth is the path to success. The members of the Blue Justice Initiative have a common ground in the Copenhagen Declaration, where it is stated that the members are convinced that there's a need for the world community to recognize the existence of transnational organized crime in the global fishing industry, and that this activity has a serious effect on the economy, distorts markets, harms the environment, and undermines human rights. These are important words and reminds us of the serious work that lies ahead of us. There are many partners that have made this launch possible, and we would like to send a special thanks to the UNDP, CRFM, and Jamaican authorities and all other participants who have taken an important role in facilitating the hub. We believe that through working together and sharing technical expertise and innovation amongst each other, can we reach a sustainable ocean and have sustainable ocean economies. Today is a day for celebration, and I therefore hope that you will take the time to enjoy this important achievement and hopefully also be able to celebrate as well. Once again, congratulations on this important milestone, and we wish you the best of luck and all the best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Olaf. Next, we'll have a recorded message from the Norwegian ambassador to the Caribbean, Her Excellency Beatra Stiro. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the invitation to join digitally in celebrating the launch of the Blue Justice Caribbean Hub in Jamaica. I wish to start by commending the Caribbean nations who have signed the Declaration on Transnational Organized Crime in the global fishing industry. It is also very valuable that Jamaica has taken on a leadership role by offering to function as the regional Blue Justice Hub for the Caribbean. These are significant milestones in the fight against fisheries crime. Norway's cooperation with the Caribbean is centered around climate and the sustainable use of the oceans. We are proud to cooperate with Jamaica in the high-level panel for a sustainable ocean economy, co-chaired by Norway's Prime Minister. I'm pleased to report that all the panel's 18 member states have committed to develop sustainable ocean plans by the UN Ocean Conference in 2025. Also, the recent signing by over 75 states of the agreement to protect marine biodiversity on the high seas, plus the ongoing negotiations to develop a global agreement against plastic pollution, demonstrate our shared interests and the continuing solidity of multilateralism despite geopolitical tensions. The Blue Justice Initiative was launched at our ocean in Oslo in 2019. Since then, I have been pleased to witness the growing cooperation to address crimes happening in the ocean space. One important tool for this interaction is the Norwegian-owned secure online Blue Justice community platform administered by the United Nations Development Programme. On September 7th this year, Norway launched the Blue Justice Ocean Surveillance Programme. The initiative is designed to provide satellite data on marine activities to all member countries, including automatic identification systems data from microsatellites. The Blue Justice community provides a secure platform for interagency cooperation, as well as for sharing intelligence and information. It also facilitates the exchange of expertise with specialists at the International Blue Justice Tracking Center located in northern Norway. The objective extends beyond sustainable fisheries. It is also about fostering a more robust environment for those who operate legally, ensuring better profitability. These efforts translate into improved food security. I'm therefore pleased to witness this new chapter in our collective efforts as we strive to protect the oceans and foster a more sustainable and equitable blue economy for the benefit of all. To finish, I wish to thank the Jamaican National Fisheries Authority, the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, the United Nations Development Programme, and the Blue Justice Secretariat for hosting this event and for their invitation. This gathering shows the commitment our oceans need and acknowledge the responsibility we share for the ocean's resources. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we will be having remarks from His Excellency Saboto Caesar.
Thank you very much, my dear brother and friend, Chair, Dr. Bellamy, my colleague, Brother Minister Floyd Green, representatives here from the CRFM and UNDP, distinguished members of the head table, the government of Norway, members of the diplomatic corps, agencies responsible for national security here in Jamaica, all international and regional representatives of countries and organizations, including impacts, technicians from the government of Jamaica and other CARICOM member states, all who are following us online, members of the media, a blessed morning. Well, Mr. Chair, when I was in Miami last evening, heading to Jamaica, and the weather report said that there is going to be a tropical storm watch, I asked myself, well, this is going to be a show of our commitment and resilience, and I want all of us to give ourselves a special round of applause, because the turnout today has shown us that not even a tropical storm watch can stop us. I want to begin by, first of all, positing that we are at a very critical juncture. Some may call it a very interesting vortex of our humanization as a Caribbean people. And I say this morning because when we analyze what is happening in our civilization, one, there is a carefully planned, structured, and conceived fight for reparatory justice, number one. Number two, we have within CARICOM an organized framework to fight for climate justice And 3, Mr. Chair, permit me, we are here to speak about the Caribbean region's efforts, the formation of a hub for blue justice. Hence, I concluded that we are at a very important part of our dispensation as a people where there's a call to action. And that is what we are here today, to launch the Caribbean Blue Justice Hub. But conceptualizing it is one, expressing the political will, Mr. Chair, is 2, and some persons say that when politicians speak, that's the easy part. What comes after? And I really want to thank the government and people of Jamaica, not only for their warm hospitality extended thus far, but for mobilizing the framework that we are here to celebrate. And I want to give the government and people of Jamaica a special round of applause this morning. This discussion had a very important point of departure. When we met a few years ago at the World Ocean Conference in Lisbon, and then I remember in a side meeting sharing the table with the representatives from Jamaica, the idea of planting that seed for blue justice and planting it here in Jamaica for the benefit of the rest of the region, it was sown. And we have now moved from Lisbon to Kingston, and soon to Kingston, and to all of the other member states of the CARICOM region. I want to commend Dr. Bellamy for his leadership and his stewardship, and the hard work and dedication of the CRFM. Without the assistance of our dedicated friends in Norway, this would not have been as possible as it is today, and I wish to give them full commendation. I recognize that here in Jamaica there is an established platform, and one of the reasons I'm here is to ensure that when I leave, I don't only leave with the memory of how fearful it was to land last night, but I leave with information so that returning to the OECS, I can speak of the issue of the evolution of the jurisprudence that must take place in the OECS for us to fully participate as active players, joining in solidarity with other member states in CARICOM to engender not only hope, but success. Success for those 2 young daughters in our presence, one about age 3, the other about age 5. We are here to create a legacy for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. And if that happens as you promised, then this will be a success. Next, we'll have a video presentation explaining the Blue Justice Initiative. Please pay attention to the monitors.
Fisheries crime in the Caribbean poses a severe threat to food security, the marine environment, and the rule of law. In 2021, a Caribbean resolution declared support for the International Declaration on Organized Crime in the global fishing industry. The Norwegian government's Blue Justice Initiative aims to strengthen the capacity of government institutions to effectively respond to organized crime in the fisheries sector. The United Nations Development Program, UNDP, has a project called Blue Resilience. It provides capacity and technical support in addressing fisheries crime. Now you might be wondering, What does this have to do with Jamaica, or how Jamaica reaching this? Well, Jamaica will serve as the regional Blue Justice hub for the entire Caribbean, with the National Fisheries Authority as the focal point. This means that the National Fisheries Authority, supported by the UNDP, will develop and sustain capacity to tackle organized crime within the fisheries sector here in Jamaica as well as other countries in the Caribbean. So, in a nutshell, this is the Blue Justice Initiative.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to ask everyone here to say a prayer for this young lady who made this video. She's very ill at the moment, so please keep her in your prayers. And next, we'll be having our keynote address from the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, the Honorable Floyd Green.
Thank you very much to our Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Gavin Bellamy, CEO of the National Fisheries Authority. Other specially invited guests, of course, our Norwegian Ambassador to the Caribbean, His Excellency, my friend, colleague, the man who has led the regional push on everything agriculture and fisheries, Mr. Saboto Caesar. Happy to have you back home here in Jamaica. You always look so comfortable here. And now that you realize that your plan to leave us tomorrow won't materialize. I'm joking. Watch the other people from the other islands. In his absence, I'm very happy that we were able to hear from Senator the Honorable Matthew Samuda, our Minister of Environment. Mr. Olvein Norheim, the Deputy Director General of the Norwegian Ministry of Trade, Industry, Fisheries. Mrs. Ava White Anderson, our UNDP Jamaica Assistant Resident Representative, Ms. Anna Marie Nunes, who we heard from virtually, UNDP Regional Technical Specialist. Of course, the man who loves to be here as well, Mr. Milton Horton, our Executive Director of the CRFM. Rear Admiral Weems Gorman, I'm so happy to have you here with us this morning. CTD Cole, CTD Parkins, Principal Director Price. Professor Weber, I have to big you up. Yes. It's good to have you. I don't know if this is a sign that we will have you more in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, now that you have a little bit more time on your hands. Our friends from Montserrat, Belize, Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Kitts, Cape Verde, other official and ministry from the ministry and other ministries and agencies. I know the DPP is here. I know the Attorney General's Chambers is here. Of course, we have a strong contingent from the JDF, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, and anybody that I have left out. Those online who are watching us. Good morning, everybody. We have a lot to celebrate this morning. And despite the challenges, we do give regard to the fact that we are having some showers of blessing. And the reality is that this is the Caribbean way. We had drought, Minister Caesar, for almost the first half of the year, and we quickly moved from drought into flood. If you ever doubt that climate change is real, we are living it here in the Caribbean. I want to start by congratulating Dr. Bellamy, and I want you to give him a big round of applause. You know, we do have a lot of unsung heroes who make these things possible. And of course, we couldn't be here without the government of Norway. Of course, we couldn't be here without Sir Horton and the CRFM and that team and the UNDP team. But you always need somebody on the ground who takes ownership of projects of this nature and who drives these projects. And to be honest, Dr. Bellamy has been a key driver in this project and the key reason why we're here. I did worry if he would make it because he was so concerned about everything coming together. I mean, if he called my office one, he would have called my office about 150 times to ensure that I would be here. And I'm not even certain if he didn't pray for the storm in a way to ensure that I didn't leave the island. But then he started to worry when he realized it was coming a little too early, and he had to ensure that everybody made it in. Dr. Bellamy, we are grateful for the work that you've been doing as CEO of the National Fisheries Authority and for ensuring that we are here. And this work that we have gathered here to do is so critical to us as Caribbean large ocean states. And you would have heard we definitely have to change our cultural mindset from looking at ourselves as small island developing states and recognizing that we have tremendous potential as large ocean states. But there is a reality that for the vast majority of the history of most of us, we have not been maximizing the potential that we have from our ocean economy. It goes further. Others have been maximizing our potential illegally, and as such, leaving us ultimately to hold the proverbial bag. We have seen the tremendous negative impact of illegal, unreported, unregulated fisheries and how it has devastated so many of our communities across the region. And oftentimes when we use terms like IUU and we use statistics and numbers, we don't recognize the lives and livelihoods that have been decimated because of illegal, unreported, and unregulated fisheries. We have seen it right here in Jamaica quite forcefully, where our very lucrative Queen Conch fisheries sector had to be suspended for 2 years because our stocks just could not maintain. And when we did the research, it was not as a result of our own fisheries, it was as a result of IUU fishing. And what that meant was that 5,000 people who depend directly on our Queen Conch industry for 2 years had to do without that source of revenue. The challenge that we face is real. And whether it is Rocky Point or Calabash Bay here in St. Elizabeth and Clarendon, or in Montserrat, or in St. Vincent, or in Barbados, the challenges are real. And that is just in relation to IUU fishing. Unfortunately, we do appreciate that the high seas and our fishery sector provides great cover for other transnational crimes that either take place on fishing vessels or during fishing operations, or use fishing operations as a cover for human trafficking, drug trafficking, arms trafficking, and yes, piracy, which still operates significantly on our high seas. As such, we have to take back our ocean space. And this initiative is truly about taking back our oceans as a region. But the only way we're going to do that is if we work collectively. Collectively across the region and collectively in our own nation states to tear down the bureaucracy that has been set up, unfortunately, across such small governments. That is what the Blue Justice Initiative is about. It's about how can we strengthen the capacity of governments and government institutions, and how can we break down those barriers so that we effectively respond to organized crime. Organized crime in our fisheries sector to ensure that we promote a sustainable and fair blue economy free from fisheries crime. And this initiative, which came about through the hard work of the people and the government of Norway, is something that we must applaud. So I want us to applaud the Norwegian government for having the foresight to develop this. But again, it has to take a collaborative effort, and I'm very happy to welcome State Minister Frank Witter. I know he would have had to traverse some heavy waters to be here this morning, coming out of St. Elizabeth. And I was worried that he wouldn't make it. But so important is the initiative that our State Minister has joined us. So not only do we have to thank the Norwegian government, but the project has directly aligned with the United Nations Development Program and their Blue Resilience Global Project, which seeks to provide critical capacity and technical support utilizing digital technology, and again ensuring that we have effective interagency cooperation. But again, Minister Caesar said it best. Oftentimes we sit and we have these high-level discussions, but they hardly amount to on-the-ground action. And I'm very happy that from a discussion that started here in the region in May 2021 at our CRFM, and that continued over years, that today we can gather to launch what will be a game-changing asset for the region, our regional Blue Justice Hub. And that deserves a big round of applause. So what will our Blue Justice Hub do? Our Blue Justice Hub is truly about taking back our oceans. It's about ensuring that we strategically increase our knowledge sharing capacity, ensuring that we're collaborating across our regional governments, ensuring that we are sharing the available technologies and innovation by establishing focal points across all our participating countries, and utilizing digital tools to detect, identify, interdict, and prosecute fisheries crimes that take place in our region. This hub will allow us to have more proficient investigations, and it will also allow a much more participatory focus. You know, there was a time that all we thought about when we thought about fisheries crime was our national security apparatus. And here in Jamaica, clearly, our JDF and our Coast Guard. But we've recognized that it takes an all-hands-on-deck approach. So yes, national security is critical, but you have to be looking at immigration, you have to be looking at labor, you have to be looking at tax. It takes an all-of-government approach to ensure that not only are we interdicting, but we're conducting more effective forensic investigations to be able to convict those who commit fisheries crime. And I remember I had the opportunity to stop by one of the workshops, Dr. Bellamy, that you were having around the Blue Justice Initiative. And I went from table to table asking people, and you know, I saw Customs, I saw JDF, I think I saw some members from the DPP, and then I saw somebody from the Ministry of Labor. And even myself, I said, Ministry of Labor? I said, how have you found it thus far? And she said it was eye-opening because they never recognize how critical labor is, especially in relation to our work permitting regime, and how people use the work permitting regime as a cover for fisheries crime. And as such, we have had labor at the table in terms of what to look for when people are trying to pass off themselves as genuine participants in our fisheries sector, when really what they're trying to do is to use it as a cover for crime. So it will take an all-hands-on-deck approach. Importantly now, we will use our digital platforms to ensure that we break down some of the barriers across the region. And the Caribbean Hub will operate on the digital platform provided by the Blue Justice community, where our Caribbean partners will be able to share, learn, and adapt to the changing strategies by the perpetrators themselves. We will use the digital tools afforded through automatic identification systems, radar and satellite technologies to support a wide array of open source resources to have us as a region be able to detect and analyze suspicious activities that are in contravention of our various laws. In support of this analytic work, countries will be expected to facilitate more in-country port inspections to ensure that the digital evidence can be subject to ground truthing and ultimately result in better and more prosecutions. You know, we didn't only bring everybody here today for a launch, and this is what I mean by ensuring that we have on-the-ground action. As soon as we're finished with this opening ceremony and launch, we will move directly into a workshop where some of the members of the Office of the DPP will present on the admissibility of digital evidence, appreciating how critical that now is in fighting fisheries crime. And I have been informed that the Office of the DPP is considering an opportunity to join a team of global legal experts which can contribute towards a better understanding of digital evidence and address training and capacity gaps for participating countries in this community. The regional hub will lead this charge. I'm also very happy that our friends from the UNDP, through our Blue Resilience Project, will support the National Fisheries Authority, who will be the hub focal point and will help us in providing this inter-regional, inter-agency capacity building, training, and of course, funding. And we should clap them for that. The louder the clap, the more the funding we get. The government of Jamaica also commits to provide the requisite resources to ensure that our regional hub will have what it needs to create impact. So I end where I started. I want to commend the Norwegian government for recognizing the importance of preserving our fisheries sector globally and for being instrumental in formulating the very timely and crucial Blue Justice Initiative. I want to thank the governments of the region and especially the CRFM who have brought us together, especially the Executive Director, Mr. Horton, around the critical importance of protecting our ocean space and not just talking about it, doing something about it. I want to commend the UNDP for providing that additional support, guidance, and resources to get us to this stage. And I want to commend the National Fisheries Authority, led by Dr. Gavin Bellamy, and of course, my colleagues who sit at Cabinet and the Prime Minister for ensuring that the government of Jamaica will play host to our Blue Justice Caribbean Hub. This hub will undoubtedly assist us in developing and maximizing the potential of the blue economy. As Caribbean states and agencies, we are signaling to the world here today that we are taking back our oceans. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Minister. So we have come almost to the end of the regional launch, but I'm going to do something that I won't be forgiven for. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to turn and look at that young lady standing over there, the one who is trying to hide behind anarchy. That is Dr. Emma Whitboy. She's the project manager for the Blue Resilience. And I will tell you, she is excellent. She whips me at about 5:45 a.m. each morning to make sure I stay on the straight and narrow path to success. Thank you, Dr. Whitboy. also, I did not say something at the beginning. I think some persons might have been upset, but I left it for last. This one was deliberate. I would like to thank the staff of the National Fisheries Authority for all the hard work they have done and all the support. The persons that when I'm running about doing BGI work, that keeping the place up and running, especially my main supervisor, Anna K. Crawford. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for braving the weather. Thank you all for coming. We will have a short break, some snacks, and then we'll get into the part that my favorite part, the working part, where we will do the technical work and try and get what Minister Caesar said, get the fire burning through the region, that this initiative will grow and grow and grow and support us all to build our blue economies. Thank you all for coming, and I know Jamaro is itching to say something. One moment.
Morning, everyone. Morning. Just quickly, because you know they often say, if it's not photographed, it never happened. So we just want to, before we have our ministers and some of our special invited guests leave, we just want to do a quick group photo. So if we can have all persons before we have the coffee break, we're going to line right in front of the head table. We're going to pull back some of those tables, the front desk, so that we can just capture everyone. And then we will officially move into the coffee break before the workshop begins. Thank you.
Thank you all.